I just wanted to make a couple of side notes that I did not mention when I was talking about receiving deliverance and help for intrusive thoughts. And they're very important points. So the first one is when like I said, when I was at the pinnacle, when it, peaked, so to speak, I was reading the book of Isaiah. Now, I found that after admitting this to myself, like that I'm going to receive help, I had to skip over into the New Testament. So I started by reading the book of Matthew. I needed Jesus at that point, and I knew only receiving the word about Jesus and about the healings that he did was the only way in which I was going to be able to be comforted. So I strongly recommend, when I say for intrusive thoughts or any kind of mental issues, do go into the New Testament and start reading it. I would say Matthew. Just start from Matthew and then just go on and read the other four Gospels, and then, proceed with reading all the books afterwards. So that is the first thing that I forgot to mention. The second thing that I forgot to mention is, if anybody tells you, because you know what you're going through, and I find some people, like I was very blessed. I was very blessed with the people that God brought into my life, who were very understanding and very educated and well aware of intrusive thoughts and knew of things such as voices. But there are a lot of people who are ignorant to this, and they've never heard of it, and they've never experienced it. They've never heard of it. So if they say to you, this is a thought that you can just flick away like that, don't go back to that person for further consultation, because they don't know what it is you are going through. You are hearing voices, and they are basically telling you that no, you're not hearing voices. This is just Satan coming at you, and you can just flick it away. It is not thoughts. We get those thoughts every day. All of us, we get those types of thoughts that are unpleasant and not something that we want to hear. Like just flickering thoughts that you can brush away with Jesus. You can brush away with prayer. Everyone receives those. When I'm talking about intrusive thoughts, I'm not talking about that. This is something that is attacking the brain. This is a mental, that's attacking the brain too, but this is a mental issue. It's, what I call it's demons attacking the brain, but it is a mental issue. And anyone who has had any kind of mental illness will tell you differently. But someone who hasn't experienced any kind of mental illness, you'll hear them very casually just say things like, oh, just pray it away, and it'll go away. Just pray it away and cover your head, like anyone who's a Christian, with the blood of Jesus. So when people are saying things like that to you, and you know that you are hearing voices, and that it's just not a thought coming to you, and that you can just casually push away, don't go back to that person and ask for any kind of advice. Do, like I said, seek a psychotherapist, because they do know about this, and so they do know about this kind of mental attack that is coming at you. They know exactly what it is. And like I said, I've heard of not only my case, but I've heard of many cases like that. And like I did give an illustration a couple of weeks ago when I had when I did a message on a man who went to see six psychotherapists for the very same condition that I was going through. And I heard about quite a few people who were going through that. Anyway, so anyone who just tells you that you're not hearing voices, that these are just thoughts that you can just flick away and pray, the blood of Jesus, these are serious attacks that need deliverance. And, make sure to talk to people who aren't going to try and tell you something that they have never gone through before, or they don't know of, they've never even heard about. And so just be very aware of that. Like I said, I was very fortunate. I had people in my life who, like church, everything. I had people who were very, knowledgeable about stuff like this, and they're knowledgeable about how the dealings of Satan. I know that some churches are more, they're not as into, the supernatural as other churches, and so they just believe that everything is surface level, and they don't believe that, demons and everything can do stuff like that. They just think very, kind of like fairy tale in their thinking. And because they really haven't really operated in the supernatural realm, their thinking isn't of the supernatural. But anyone who understands the supernatural and the workings of Satan and his demons, and understands, just like the Bible illustrates, that demons operate in many ways, and there were many people who were attacked mentally in the Bible. There are a couple of scriptures I could read off to you previously about demons attacking people's mind, and how they needed deliverance, and how Jesus delivered them from them, just like people who have physical illnesses. And these, again, are demons who are attacking them. I'm trying to think of one lady in the Bible who was hunched over, and Jesus said that was a demon that was in her that has, caused her to be that way. And so many illustrations where, there was deliverance because demons were attacking the people, either physically through physical ailments or mentally. So when somebody says to you, I thought this wasn't on, when someone says to you, oh, this is just something you can just, read a good book on, and, thoughts will go away, just flick them away. When you are hearing voices, when you know the difference between a flickering thought and hearing voices, just don't take in that information. Don't allow them to make you think that you don't know what it is you are going through. Okay, so I just felt that I had to mention those two. Very important. You know what it is you're going through. And a lot of times people don't know what you're going through, but they think that they are experts because of whatever position they are in, to be able to tell you what you are experiencing. You know what you are experiencing, and you listen to what you are going through. You listen to yourself and seek out the advice. Like I said, that's why I said seek a psychotherapist, because they know. Not all pastors know. Some pastors do, especially those who are operating at the supernatural level, who are, working, the workings of God, the workings of Satan, have dealt with both, have battled both. They do know, and they do understand that, and they do get that. But a lot of pastors, they're not at that realm. They're not at that level. So they're not going to understand or know what it is that you're talking about. And they're just going to say things like, if, unpleasant thoughts come to you, just flick them away. We all have those unpleasant thoughts, which we flick away daily. Everyone has them, Christians, non-Christians. So that's all I have to say, and have a blessed day.